Do you need tea? Is for the question there.
I think I need some tea.
So, full question. Clarissa, or the history of a young lady comprehending the most important concerns of private life and particulars showing the distresses that may attend the misconduct both of parents and children's in relation to marriage. That's the title.
Yep.
So that's already boring. That's the problem.
lot of titles at that time period were long. And then they just get cut down.
Samuel Richardson, 1748. This is entirely letters. It's an epistolary novel. I was really, really worried because I thought it's all letters, it's going to have no dialogue, and that's going to kill me. But that's actually not quite true. The letters manage to put the dialogue in them. So most of the letters are Clarissa writing to her friend. So it's Clarissa Harlowe writing to her friend Anne Howe. And she'll say, like, Miss Howe, here's what happened to me today. My mum said, and then she'll just give, like, the conversation. And I replied, and then you get conversation in the letters. So it's quite a clever way of writing, and it's still engaged.
I mean, it did it with Dracula as well, and it can be done well.
So I'm glad that it was done well. Okay. The primary problem with this book, you've seen that I've just set a very heavy, very large breeze block on the table here.
Yeah.
So
it does look like a paperweight.
It's 1,500 pages. I'm exactly halfway. And it's abridged.
Yeah.
And that's I didn't realize it's abridged. The first quarter gives nothing away. The second quarter, we get a bit fewer letters from Clarissa to Anne and a few more of her love interest, Mr. Lovelace, to his friend, Belford or something. And sometimes the editor has said, okay, this letter that Lovelace writes is almost essentially the exact same as the letter Clarissa just wrote. Like, they both told the story to their two friends, so I'm cutting it.
Yeah.
So that is, or I've cut most of it, here's the only bit that was different, or something like that. So that happens a little bit in the second quarter. There are some abridgments. How long was this otherwise?
2,000 pages.
And of course, I say 1,500 pages. These are quite tall pages with very small text.
Yeah.
If you were to pick up your normal size, like paperback, like look at the Boy from Elsewhere, for example, this is like 3,000 of these pages.
Yeah.
That's the problem that I have, you know?
Still not as small as my theater anthology book. Which is also about 1,500 pages.
But this is too long. And
the print is too damn high.
Too damn high. I've never ever seen it. I've never in my life.
That was not on the bingo card.
No, it was not. It should be. Some people have been waiting 66 episodes for that one. I have never...
69, if any.
I've never seen a book that begged to be abridged more than this. Like, you could cut 3/4 of what I've read and still tell the story. And that's the problem.
That's fair, because that would, bring it down to about 200?
To the normal book length, yeah. This... It's going to shock you. I'm not going to rate it, because I'm going to read the second half next month. So far, it would get a yeah.
Okay.
But it is losing me the longer it goes on. And I'm worried that it will continue to do so. It is well written. The writer is good. It was voted, and I thought it was a long time ago, I looked it up again, as recently as 11 years ago, it was voted one of the top books in the English language.
Does not compare to Tom Jones, I think.
Does not.
Yeah.
But this was voted by both the BBC and The Guardian in like top English novels ever.
Top 20, top 30 or something.
One of them, it didn't tell me where. The other one was like 13 or 14 or something. So like, it's a very well respected book. It's considered a real masterpiece of the English language. I had never heard of it. I did... Okay. Someone's lying. Because one critic said he reads it every year. And... You know, that's your...
You read it every year, that's your book for the year.
Yeah. That's your David Brent type thing. Like, oh, you're struggling with Clarissa? I read it every year, if anything. Like, it's obviously not true, man, you know? So... I mean, to be fair, I've done half of it in like 2 weeks. I'm going to do the other half. So even for me, this is like a full month of reading. You know,
that's so much.
And there are days...
Does it have an abridged
There
version?
must. Oh yeah, of course. Like Dumas style. This has been released in many different versions. The author himself kept going in to add and remove and change and move bits. So this exists in multiple versions.
Oh, of course.
Then editors have
Graph
changed
style,
things, and yeah. So who even knows which version someone's getting? It's hard to say that it's good. It is good, but it's hard to.
It's hard to say it's good.
Yeah, I never recommend it to anyone. It's way too long.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's like, it doesn't matter how good it is. Like, this could be the best book in history, but it could be this long and no one's going to read it. You know?
Except it's still the length of the entire Lord of the Rings, and that's about it.
Yeah. So, what actually happens in it? Not much. So...
Lord of the Rings then.
Yeah. Clarissa... there was a chap called Mr. Lovelace that the family did like for Clarissa, but they've changed their minds. They don't like him anymore. I think initially they wanted him for her sister, but then that didn't work out, so they want him for Clarissa. The backstory here, which for me informs everything, an old granddads or uncles or something of Clarissa's has died. And he has said, she's the only relative I actually liked, so I'm going to leave my estates and all my money to her. So the mum and dad, the mum is nice, but the dad, and especially the brother and sister, they are really jealous now and they hate her. And I think that informs the rest of the book, basically. So they want, like, revenge on her. But she's depicted, again, it's almost boring at this point, like the super virtuous, like, super innocent, can't do anything wrong type of girl that they always put in these books, you know? And it's almost like, how could they hate her? She's so perfect. Oh, wait, now I hate her because she's so perfect, you know?
Your Disney live-action princess style. Yeah. She's perfect, so you should like her.
She keeps writing to her friend. It's funny because the amount of letters... Like, this book has over 500 letters, but the letters have sub-letters. It'll be like, letter 37.4, you know.
What is this?
I have enclosed some other letters
Just
in
use
my letter.
Yes.
So it's like, enclosed in my letter are the 3 letters I received from people, and then they're just so long and so many letters. I think they invented texting, because they are sending letters multiple times per day to other people in the same house as them. And they're expecting instant replies, and then sending more letters in reply to those. And they'll sign off, like, I'm going to sign off this letter now, so I can start another letter to you. Like, the amount... This is fast communication. This is not like sending a letter by courier. They're in the same house.
Why are you sending a letter to someone in the same house?
Why are you sending 500 letters to someone? Well, not that many. But some of them are sent to her relatives who are all in the same house as her. And it was getting silly.
Yes.
You know?
That is a silly idea.
This is very silly.
I wouldn't even send a letter to the person next door.
Of course.
Down the street, maybe. But
You send a boy. You send a courier. You know, like the old books. Just like, fetch a boy. Send him to do my errands for me.
That is what happens.
Give him a shilling.
That is more or less what happens in After Ben's The Rover. It's basically like, boy, get a priest.
Boy, what day is it? It's Christmas Day, sir.
But also, Prince of the Pauper is similar, except it's not a boy. It's just like, go search for this for me.
So, Clarissa, I think the family have wanted Clarissa to marry. She's the younger sister, so she shouldn't even theoretically be first in the queue to marry, right? But they give her some options, and she's turned them all down before the novel has started. So now they have Mr. Solmes. And they're like, right, you have to marry this guy. And she's like, I hate this guy. And they said, well, you turned down all the others, so end of the queue. You have to marry this guy. And she has never disobeyed her parents before. Like, she's been given choice before. This is the first time they're telling her she must do it. And they, you know, she's depicted as the whole family loved her. She was just the best person ever. Every uncle adored her. Everyone thought she was just perfect, you know? And
then she said no.
Yeah, then she was like, actually, hold on, I don't want to marry someone I don't like. And they're like, how could you be so disrespectful?
Yeah.
So Mr. Solmes, somehow, despite knowing that she doesn't like him, is like, cool, challenge accepted. I'm going to keep coming around to the house and keep trying to talk to her and see her and, you know, get the family to get me to marry her. And it's very strange because she makes it so clear that she hates him. What's the end goal? Even if she somehow relents and marries you, you're going to know forever that she didn't want to and that she hated you. I don't want to be married to someone who hates me. What's the point, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you still lose. So she still kind of likes Lovelace, but she's not really sure. She prefers him to the other options, but she keeps saying, "Look, I don't really want to get married at all right now. I'm fine as I am. I got my independence, you know." So the family are like, "Right, we're probably going to have to keep you prisoner in your room forever."
Yeah, of course. That's the next logical step.
Okay, what else? Right?
Yeah.
So she's not allowed she's not allowed to talk to anyone. She's not allowed to leave the house. I think she's allowed to go to the garden once a day for a walk, only at such times as her family are not there. She's not allowed to see or speak with anyone in the family. Which is why she keeps writing them letters, and they keep returning them like, "Please stop writing to me." Like, she's not allowed to communicate with the family.
Wow. It'd be a much shorter book in that case. It's just like, right,
okay.
Stop. Okay.
They fire her servant, so she has to like use other servants who she's not close to, that she doesn't trust, you know?
She still gets servants, though.
Yeah.
No, poor girl.
No, I do feel sorry for her.
You feel sorry that she's locked up, yes, that's fair.
And
but it's feeling sorry
they
for the rich,
forbid her to write to Lovelace. They forbid her to write to her friend, Miss Howe. So they're like, "We want you to sit in your room and do literally nothing forever." Like, you cannot leave your room, you cannot talk to anyone, you cannot write to anyone. So that's horrible.
Yes.
So she's writing to her friend a lot, and somehow they can't figure out how. They keep confiscating her ink and things, and she just keeps having more.
So what she does is she folds little paper airplanes and throws them out the window.
And she has it arranged.
Ink, you get more blood.
Yeah. The friend had arranged with one person that, like, if you hide the letters in a certain spot, she'll send someone to pick them up. But, oh my god, these people are so needy with their letters. They're like, "I'm writing a letter because I wrote you a letter an hour ago and it's still in the box. No one's come for it. I hope everything is okay. And I'm writing you a third letter because there are 2 letters in the box outside. You know, I'm writing you a 5th letter." It's like, "Oh, hold on. It's been 2 hours. Give her some time." You know, and then she'll pick them up like, "Sorry, I was busy today." You know, like...
Yeah, but then you read those letters 2 through 5 and it's like, right, these are trash then.
Of course.
What is this?
It's very funny accidentally because of that sometimes. And she's like, "Say sorry, I was out of time today."
It's not like a notification like it is a
yeah,
telephone.
It is the slowest form of communication. Come on. So the friends are nice and they get along, but they admonish each other a little bit too. You know, your typical like highbrow types. They throw a little jibe in here and there, you know. But they generally get along well. She writes to Lovelace. It gets to the point where she's going to be forced to marry tomorrow. And she goes through a bunch of options. I'll never marry. I'll retire to my uncle's house. I'll do this, I'll do this. And the brother turns the whole family against her. Even the uncles, the aunts, everyone is now... They're holding councils downstairs every day. Like, what to do with Clarissa. And she's like, "Just leave me alone, you know? Literally do nothing." She even says, "Look, I know that my brother and sister are jealous about the money and everything. I will literally give you, no questions asked, I'll give you all the money, because she's not even allowed to go to the estate. Even though she's inherited all this, the parents are like, "Yeah, you can't go there. You got to stay here and be a prisoner."
Why do they have any say then?
They shouldn't have any say because she's like, "Well, I guess my dad is in charge." So, and the mum is scared of the dad, etc. You know. So she ends up not knowing what to do. She says, "I will give you all the money. I don't want it. Take the estate. Take everything." And they're like, "Right, it's not even about that anymore. We're just mad that you didn't do what we wanted you to do."
Yeah, of course.
So you have to marry him, or you can never do anything else, like never leave this room.
Yeah, what's the ultimatum there? It's like, well, the same thing that's already happened?
Yeah, but then... I think what really upset me was they were unrelenting because it became like a matter of stupid, like, male ego. Like, I just want you to do the thing that I decided, whether it was the right thing or not, and no matter what else has happened, I'm mad that you haven't done it. So that's it, you know?
And so we're about 450 pages in.
So what happens... Yeah, this is the first quarter of the book. It's just this. So yeah, by about 400 pages. The next quarter, Lovelace rescues her. So he takes her away. She writes to him...
Good guy Lovelace.
No, you know it. No.
I know.
She writes to him, and then she writes again, changing her mind, but he ignores that and comes for her. And then she's like, "Well, they're going to force me to marry literally tomorrow morning, so at this point, I'm going to have to go with this guy." And he's like, "Get into the carriage." And she resists, so he then just forces her into the carriage and has his friends make noises thinking that people are pursuing them so that she'll go with him.
Wow, okay.
So he's already arranged this. Now, reading this, I reread a quick summary of this in Wikipedia today. It made him sound worse than I thought reading it. I had a lot of suspicions that he wasn't a good guy. Maybe the article was written after they'd finished the book. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Because at this point, I was like, I'm very suspicious of him, but I'm not sure for certain. And I even had many suspicions. I was like, is he's talking to the family as well? Like, has he put songs up to it? I wondered if he was pulling weird strings somewhere else to force things to happen in his favor somehow, you know?
It sounds like he's been lying to her and gaslighting her and all this.
Yeah. So he eventually takes her away, and thank God something's happening, right? Because after 350 to 400 pages of her just being trapped in a room alone, he takes her to an inn and is like, cool, now you just stay in this inn alone for the next 300 to 400 pages. So, well, he's with her, sorry, but what a great change of events. Now she's just in a different place, still stuck.
Writing more letters.
Like, nothing has really happened. I guess there's some... He does introduce her to other people, right? So he basically says to his friends, you're all terrible reprobates. If she meets you, she might think I'm good by comparison.
That's how it should be. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He introduces her... I think it's...
Is that why you introduced your girlfriend on that first night to me?
I think that he also introduces her to some... I think one of the places they stay might be a brothel, and the girls might be prostitutes, but he has them pretend not to be and things like that. So she's worried that like her reputation is being affected and everything. In the end, none of that really matters, because the key point here is the family are like, well, you ran away with a man, so you're ruined, you're done, that's it.
Yeah, because they automatically assume that she's already tarnished.
Yeah. And when they won't talk to her for months, when they eventually get in touch, they're like, okay, we think we can fix this. Please just tell us that you married him at the beginning, and then you've not sinned, essentially. And she's like, I still haven't married him. And they're like, God damn it, then you're definitely ruined. And she's like, because there's no way you could have just not had sex with him. So, I guess you're ruined. But she hasn't.
Yeah, of course.
She hates him. And at one point, he like... To be fair, because I honestly thought... No, what could happen in the next 20 pages, who knows? Maybe anything.
20 pages?
Or the 200 pages.
There we go.
But I honestly was worried he was going to rape her. But he doesn't. And he seems to be really obsessed with her and begs her every day. She's actually very cold to him, considering he technically did rescue her. And he's begging, like, come to the theatre with me. Just do anything with me. And she's like, I will see you tomorrow. I'm going back to my room to write more letters. And she never wants to do anything with him. And he'll, like, steal a kiss on the hand and be like, oh, I got to touch your hand. Like, this made my day. So he's pathetic.
Very, very creepy.
But very creepy. And I was just glad he didn't rape her, honestly. Like, that's where I assumed it was going. And it still might. It still, honestly, still might. He keeps trying to say that they should get married, but then never actually proposes. I think... And again, the summary I read made it clearer than what has been evident to me so far. I think he isn't really ever going to marry her. I think he just wants to seduce her. But I was suspecting that. And I also suspected he might be involved in other things, and he's writing to his friends, and some of the stuff he says to them about her is not nice. And one of the friends starts to be like, actually, hold on, I met her, and she seemed pretty nice, to be honest, you know? Mm. So I think he's really a bad guy. And he is essentially holding her prisoner the same as her family were. He's no better.
That's already, that's enough.
Yeah. So I'm assuming she's going to escape and go somewhere else and then sit in a room for 300 pages and write letters. But
well, that takes you to 1,000 pages.
Yeah.
And you still got 500 left to see what happens.
So I'm at the halfway mark. So
you're going to have a great rest of your month.
If I read more, I have to finish it. Yeah. Right? I stop or finish it. I've decided I'm going to press on. The reason it's losing me is because anytime there was an occasional letter not from Clarissa to her friend, I kind of saw it as extra and skimmed over it. But it's starting to happen more and more, and a lot of it is now him writing to his friend. Mm. But I think I don't care.
Okay.
I wanted to see Clarissa writing to Anne, and when it's him writing to his friend, I'm just like, I don't care.
Nothing. It's really
and it's not written as nicely, and, you know.
Because it is a different character writing and different style, because it's a man versus woman.
And again, the stuff of her in the house felt like a better story than where we're at now. Also, and we're seeing less, we're not hearing as much from the brother and sister anymore. Also, this book, shockingly, has filler in it, because all the letters are responded to then by Anne. And I was just like, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, paraphrase. Like, I don't need this. I already read the letter, you know?
Oh my goodness, that is awful.
Were
these actually letters?
Yeah, like, it's hundreds of letters in this book that you could have told the story. What I've read so far could have been 100 pages. It did not need to be 750 pages.